It was a beautiful night in June 1904. I was headed back to New York with pictures I'd taken in Patagonia. The ship was the Lemuria, a beat-up old bucket of rust, steaming north of the Bahamas. I was lying there on the deck, just gazing up at the stars.
Mr. Hewitt, there's a storm headed our way and Captain says you're to go below to your cabin.
I'd kinda like to stay on deck, to enjoy it.
Captain's orders, sir. Could be a nasty blow.
I needed to make sure my equipment was secure. I didn't want anything to happen to those pictures. Polishing camera lenses was out of the question.
Mr. Hewitt, sir, we're abandoning ship. There's no time for anything, so just get on up here.
I wasn't going anywhere without my camera and my Patagonia pictures. Much to my surprise, I was alive on a calm sea, and the boat still had oars. All I needed to do was row. My equipment was okay. So was I. The lifeboat was afloat, someplace. Things could have been worse. Airplanes hadn't been invented in 1904. Anti-gravity beams neither. I was impressed. I'd never seen anything like this, even in New York City. The closet door was stuck fast. I'd broken the knife, but the closet was open. It was a mighty unusual helmet, with crazy-looking goggles on it. Maybe I'll get some answers.
Don't move. Don't move. She who sees all doesn't see him. Who are you, deviant? An outsider?
Who the heck are you, pal? An insider?
We are guardians. I'll go check with the commander.
Do I need a lawyer? Legal representation?
What's that? Some primitive ritual from the outside?
Okay, no lawyer. I couldn't have paid for one anyhow. What is this place?
Orientation Center 17. You will soon be realigned.
Realigned? What's that?
That is for the gods to decide. The path you will follow to humility depends on the depth of your deviancy.
You said gods. How many do you have?
You are an outsider. The gods are mighty Xanad, his sister Enna, his son Cosmo, and Enna's twin daughters, Kama and Sama. Grovel before their power.
Uh-huh. I think I saw their pictures in the flying machine. And what's the name of your beautiful country?
This is the new Atlantis.
Who Who's the guy with the crystals I saw a picture of in the flying machine?
The great god Xanad, creator of our sun and moon.
In the boat, there's a picture of an older lady, kind of severe looking.
You speak of Enna, she who sees all. No deviant escapes her gaze. Her likeness is everywhere and watches over her docile subjects.
In the flying boat, there was a picture of a youngish guy, throwing flaming spears at people. Who's he?
Cosmo, god of death! Tremble at his name!
I noticed a picture of a young woman with a lunar theme. Who's she?
Kama, goddess of night!
There was a picture in the flying boat of a young woman who had a connection with the sun.
Sama, goddess of day! Never resist a guardian of humility. It is an abomination in the eyes of Xanad.
I'm curious about that device. What is it?
It's a picture panel, outsider. It reveals secrets beyond your primitive understanding. Let me in. Nobody said you could leave, outsider. You really are disorientated. Don't despair. You'll soon be worthy to serve the gods in a very humble capacity.
Halt, deviant.
And that was nothing, outsider. This weapon can reduce you to dust. They are entrusted to us by Cosmo, so that deviants may suffer his holy wrath.
Just like the ones on the flying contraption.
Outsider, you are beyond even the vision of Enna, she who sees all. No degree of realignment could ever lead you to the beaten track of humility. You are to be recycled. It is time. Into the car, deviant. It will take you to the recycling facility.
The other option was to knock out the two heavily armed guards. I got in the car.
Remain immobile until ejected, deviant.
I needed to find a way out, or else.
You have now completed your path to humility. As you tread the beaten track, remember, Enna sees all.
Alive and free at last. I decided the orientation center and I needed some time apart. I'd have to worry about my equipment later. Back to the orientation center? Definitely not the beaten track to New York. Maybe you can tell me where I am.
We can't help you, Deviant. Enna sees all. Leave us.
My name is Curtis Hewitt. I was hoping you...
Go to the community center. The headman will guide you.
Did you ever visit the orientation center back there?
We are not deviants. We tread the beaten track.
Where can I get a drink around here? I've been walking for quite a...
See the headman. He will help you.
Okay, where can I find him?
In the community. Go now. Enna sees all.
That looks like hard work.
We will not step off the track.
I'm a stranger, not a deviant. I'm just trying to find my way home.
Deviant, Enna sees all.
So what are you folks growing?
We fear the gods at all times.
Where can I get a drink around here?
Please, please, don't hurt me. I serve the gods.
Maybe you can help me.
Get away from me, deviant.
I'm a stranger here, and
You think Enna doesn't see you? We will not waver from the path of shame.
Do you have guardians around here?
You cannot escape the gods.
Could I get a glass of water someplace?
Don't speak to me, deviant. I tread the beaten track and obey without question.
Are you from around here? Locally born and raised?
We fear the gods and toil at all times.
My name's Curtis Hewitt. I'm from out of town.
We tread the path of humility and shame, the trail of drudgery, the rut of repetition.
So I noticed. Why do you do that?
Pride is our disease.
Those statues of Enna that see everything, how do they work?
Enna sees and Cosmo punishes.
Your gods keep you pretty busy, don't they?
Xanat has decreed endless toil and blind obedience. Follow the beaten track. Enna sees all.
I met a couple of guardians of humility. How come they get all the fancy equipment?
Questions are the mark of the deviant. Deviants do not toil and have no shame.
My name is Curtis Hewitt, and I'm not a deviant. I'm a foreigner.
You're not Atlantean. You don't look wild-born.
Atlantean and wild-born. I'm American. You heard of planet Earth?
You're not an outsider, are you?
I think I am. What does outsider mean exactly?
A savage from the outer surface of the Earth. We live on its inside surface.
Have you always lived in this delightful community?
Of course not. The gods move us at will. I have worked in many communities.
I guess this little guy will soon be starting school?
He has already started work. His whole life will be servitude to the gods.
You don't sound too happy about the idea.
Don't let them catch you. They'll send you to the orientation center.
Where do the gods live?
In a floating palace high above us. They will mortify the people of Atlantis until we are cleansed of pride.
Or until the god of life comes to free us.
Yes, but that's just a story. It may never come true.
I met a woman who talked with a completely dead voice like this.
She came here from the orientation center. Don't let the guardians catch you.
My name's Curtis Hewitt. What's yours?
Why are you hairy? Are you a deviant?
Would you be scared if I was?
Maybe. You're gonna get realigned.
Get on with your work, you bare-faced idler. Don't make me call Cosmo.
She sees me, but she doesn't see you.
I'd be interested to know what kind of names you folks have. What's yours?
My name is unimportant. To think otherwise is to deviate.
I'd like to know about your gods. Do you have a favorite? One of the girls?
Throw yourself down and pray for realignment. How could you wander so far from the track?
I'd like to ask you about that woman who acts kind of like a zombie.
What is a zombie, deviant? Some beast that hunts you in the forest where you hide from she who sees all?
Tell me about that woman with her little child. How many families do you have here?
Only the gods are a family. That child will be transferred to another community when the gods decree.
What do you think of those guardian guys? Kind of rough, aren't they?
They are the guardians of humility, deviant. To resist them is to spit defiance at the gods. The anger of Cosmo is endless. I won't talk to you anymore, deviant. You must seek realignment. The gods will train you to bow your head in shame.
You think I don't know about your shirking and your shamelessness? I'm watching you every step of the way, foot dragger. Wait until Cosmo hears about this.
The moonlight I shed is enough. Enna sees you. Cosmo wants you dead. For you, there is only the beaten track. That's your place. You will remain there until your death.
All will know my wrath. When Cosmo says die, you die. I order you to obey your guardians and to submit humbly to their brutality.
With hard work comes rewards. Fill every moment of the day with exertion.
Wilt beneath the gaze of Enna, sister to mighty Xanat, who elevated her and her daughters to goddesshood. She is a mother who sees into all minds and inspects all thoughts for telltale pre-deviant stains. Without end is the might of Xanat. He led the unworthy survivors of Atlantis to the inside of the world. Alone, he created the new Atlantis, forged our sun and moon, revealed his magnificent power to his people, and destroyed the traitors among us. Cringe with shame before Kama, goddess of night, who, with her mother Enna and twin sister Sama, ascended to goddesshood. Lady Kama brings us dreams filled with guilt and humiliation, stripping away the pride that leads us to deviancy. Quake before the wrath of Cosmo, pitiless punisher, god of death. Raised to godhood by his father, the mighty Xanat, Lord Cosmo wields his pillar of fire and exterminates the deviant. Only Xanat's holy command stops Cosmo from burning all of us to ash, which is what we deserve. Sweat beneath the goddess of the day, radiant Sama. Granted goddesshood by her uncle, mighty Xanat, she brings the sun to light our endless toil. By her shining grace, our unworthiness is fully exposed.
Do you mind if I ask you what you do for a living?
I am head man of this community, 49-4. We toil and follow the path to self-effacement. You too will work yourself to death once you've been realigned.
My name is Curtis Hewitt, and I'm kind of lost.
You are severely disorientated. As head man of this community, I order you to remain docile. Some guardians will come to take care of you.
So have you folks always worshipped Xanat and the other gods?
Only after their ascension to godhood. The old gods had failed Atlantis and its proud people. The new Atlantis required gods without mercy. You too will find humility when your realignment is complete.
I already met some guardians. Do they ever come by your village?
Whenever duty calls them to keep us in our place, they'll help you too. They'll take you to a place of pain and suffering where you'll learn how undeserving of life you are.
What I really need is something to drink.
As head man, I authorize you to drink at the well, deviant. Now you are a disgusting specimen, rejected even by she who sees all. But soon, you'll be one more groveling servant of the gods.
How does Enna see all?
Her likeness is present wherever we of Atlantis live. She surveys without rest. To stray beyond her vision is to digress. You have diverged so far she cannot bear the sight of you.
I met a woman with a voice like this when she spoke. What happened to her?
As head man, I can confirm that all individual thought and personal volition have been cleansed from her. Her vegetable-like humility is a lesson to the entire community. You too will serve as a lesson, deviant.
I met a young woman with a little boy. Do you folks have a schoolhouse?
You have walked about our community, and Enna completely ignores you. How lost you must feel, you pathetic aberration. As for that woman, she worries me. She could be in need of realignment. The boy also. As head man, I must be ruthless with potential pre-deviancy.
This machine is impressive.
The gods! As head man, I must force pre-deviants to spend many days gazing upon their gods and learning about their destructive powers. Truly, we are blessed to be so downtrodden for our own good.
Do you have one of these gizmos?
It serves to correct pre-deviant tendencies. A gift from the gods to each Atlantean community.
Your headman told me he was worried about you and the little boy.
Yes, he has warned me. The boy came here after separation from his parent, and we grew close, but emotional attachment is a privilege reserved for the gods. The headman is worried because, like you, I may attract their attention.
I had a chance to speak with your headman. Was he elected?
We obey the gods who have decreed all things. The beaten track is the sure way to mortification.
Now, everything's going to be fine. The Guardians have arrived, and they'll take good care of you.
The Guardians have come for you. You must look for Miranda in the woods. She is wild-born and might help you. Her sign is the owl.
If I had more time, I'd teach you baseball, kid. About the well, why don't you guys use a pulley? And more generally, haven't you heard of labor-saving devices?
Deviant filth! No wonder Anna refuses to lay eyes on you. As head man, I tremble with shame and fear for our community. We are not put here to indulge in devices. Our penance is total exhaustion through toil and suffering.
I was on the run again. Maybe I'd get away through the woods.